Hi Jamie, hi Melissa, it's Alice, and we're going to take a look at your website, AmuseBouche.com. AmuseBouche Adventures. What have we got here? AmuseBoucheAdventures.com, which is a language and wine learning business. And before we go and have a look at the actual site, I just kind of want to give you my overall feedback for what you're doing, which is basically that your energy is fantastic, and I'm quite excited by the inspiration behind what you're doing. It's quite clear that you would be extremely good company for an evening, and that in itself is really great. And actually, you've done what most people struggle to do, which is to get yourselves across, and you've done that really well. I think that your story, which is the kind of initial concept, which is about mixing travel and language learning together and wine learning, you're beginning to tell a story and you don't finish telling the story. You don't really close the loop. And closing the loop for you on this site means, well, it's really how you're communicating those courses, and it's not, for me, it's not clear. It's clear that you've got an awful lot to offer, and you've got something really interesting to say, but it's not clear to me how you're getting that into your courses, and how your courses are really doing what you're suggesting that they do. So as we go through the website, what I'm really going to be talking about is how you can finish telling that story, how you can join the dots that you're beginning to make, and also how you can just make all of this that bit more relevant to your potential customers. My guess is that the thing that you need to do next is to start engaging your potential customers and having a conversation with them. It sounds to me, I mean, I could be off track, and this is where I'd love to talk to you, but it sounds to me like you guys have brainstormed. I'm just checking that's working. Yeah, just froze. You've brainstormed a fantastic idea. You've got a huge amount of energy and enthusiasm, and you are now at the stage of market testing your idea, working out exactly who is the audience for it, what their access points are for the kind of thing that you're offering, like at what point would they want to pick up your product, and how would they be thinking of using it? How would they be thinking of using your online courses? Where does that fit into their lives? But also your blog is full of lots of really funny, natty stories. But again, I'm not sure how to use that. And I think you could be making it a lot more useful and a lot more applicable. So I would start by having conversations with your potential customers, testing the waters, find out what they want to know about wine, how they want to find it, how they want to learn it, where they're asking themselves questions about wine and language, and how you can meet that need through your blog and through your courses. But the great, mostly, I like the images and so on. And you've got the beginnings of a really strong idea. So I think it's just a case of pushing on now and tightening it up. So let's go. Let's share the screen. Here we go, and go on to AmuseBouche. Here we are, AmuseBouche Adventures. So I've got quite a lot to say because you've got quite a lot of stuff up on this site. So banner's great. I like that. Really love your images. So straight away, these banner pictures, or scroll pictures, whatever they're called. Let's have a look. AmuseBouche Adventures, Systematic Wine and Culinary Education. So nowhere on your site do you pick up, well, there's the cheese and wine tasting thing, I suppose, the culinary education thing, focused on language, travel and culture. Perfect. So I'm kind of expecting this holistic thing that takes you through wine and language, which is kind of what you say you're offering in your courses. But your website, the whole website, needs to be really talking people through how you do thematic wine and culinary education, showing people how you do it. So your blog posts need to be like a mini soupçon of that, kind of like, here is a little tiny piece of, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a sec. Here's a little tiny piece of learning that incorporates a little bit of language, a little bit of wine, a little bit of food, and mixes it up in a way that's actually usable. And if you can get the hang of doing that in your blog, you're probably going to be kind of on your way to understanding how it all fits together for your courses. I feel like I'm being quite hard on you, so I hope you don't mind too much. Because I think you've got a really, really strong idea. And sometimes sometimes the stronger your idea, work it takes to tease it out and actually pin that down and turn that into something useful and translate that into something that people can use. Because you're doing a little bit of educating your clients about the value of your product. And quite often, the more exciting your product, the more work that you have to do that. So you're focusing on early adopters. You're focusing on that key group of people who are interested in doing this holistic kind of Renaissance man or woman sort of all-round sort of approach to learning, and that's definitely where your market's going to be for this. Oh gosh, the other thing is that there's a lot of clicks. Let me share the screen again quickly. I'll start showing you. Come on, lovely Google Hangouts. There we go. Entire screen, share, and let's go back to the page. Okay, so you've got a lot of links going through your website here. Click here for our online classes. Learn wine, learn language. Through Learn. It's like I spent a little while kind of clicking through the different places to make sure that I hadn't missed anything. And that kind of there was a slight sense of anxiety in the background. Oh, shit, I've missed something. I haven't kind of, where is it? Where is stuff? How does it all fit together? You want to make the navigation as easy, simple, streamlined and straightforward as possible. So it's like, start on the home page. From the home page, you go to the about page. From the about page, you go to the work with me, learn, whatever page. And then you've got the blog on the side. So it's really easy. There's not kind of multiple loops round to places too much. Click here for our online classes. I mean, yeah, that's my preference anyway. I don't like my brain to get into a tangle too quickly. Okay, let's have a look at this text in. The big bright idea for your next get together. We have everything, including limericks. Yeah, the cheese and wine pairings party thing. That was the first thing I saw when I came on to have a sort of look through this. It kind of almost works, but it doesn't quite work. And I really tripped on the limericks and haikus thing. Like, wow, because that's a really natty idea and it's a great idea, but it's not. I got kind of confused about what was going on with this and who it would be for. Yeah. I'm just going to move on because I think really that the whole thing is what's going to help you to get this rather than nitpicking along the way. I've got to say, I do really like what you're doing. Okay, I think the point about the wine and cheese pairings party is that presumes that the people you're talking to are going to be burningly desiring a new angle on their wine and cheese pairing party. Which is, you know, a very particular group of people. Yeah. Is that your primary group? Okay, I'm just going to let that one sit. What makes traveling so memorable? Eating and drinking well and chatting with new friends. Learn how. So, and then you link through to. So, okay, great. Eating and chatting and drinking well with friends. And this is where thinking about the emotional brain is really, really useful because, okay, great. Eating and chatting and drinking well with friends. And eating and chatting and drinking well with friends. Eating and chatting and, oh, hang on a minute. There's 6 courses to choose from. Which course do I choose from? Flashcards. Oh, flashcards. But I was having a drink with my friends. And suddenly I'm doing flashcards. Oh, okay. Now I'm confused. And also, it's kind of the pictures are kind of really simple pictures. I want to click through to a picture of me eating and drinking and chatting with friends in fluent French. that's where my brain has gone. You've created a really strong image and you haven't followed up on that image. So this is your courses page. I'm not going to pick over that yet. So let's go back to the home page. Learn wine, learn language, learn wine, learn language, learn why. What makes AmuseBouche different? Okay, I'm going to follow this train of thought. Read more. What makes AmuseBouche different? Entertains the mouth. AmuseBouche Adventures do the same. Oh yeah, what adventures? It sounds like you're a travel company. Are you taking people? Are you doing live things with people? But I don't think you are you? So again, like that's putting something in my mind that then is not following up on that. And if you are going to, so you're telling half stories constantly. So I mean, I think if you can get a handle on this, it's going to be really compelling, because if you can pick up on this with the adventures, for example, you could make your online courses feel like an adventure. You could really, but you need to think about how you're actually going to craft your courses so that feeling and that story follows through the branding of your courses for the courses. So just be mindful of that, setting people up and then you're not following through, you're not finishing the story. Yeah, savoury lessons in the food and wine context. Tastes that leave you thirsty for more. I mean, it's beautiful. You've got such a way with words. It's great. What I'm not really making me ask, by serving up savoury lessons in the food and wine context, we provide cultural tastes that leave you thirsty for more. And then the cultural tastes thing, it's not. Culturally relevant learning experiences that will prepare you to fully indulge in food and wine. So I've got the question like, so what, do you just cover food and wine vocab? Am I not going to be able to, are you not going to equip me for buying a train ticket? And then the wine classes, most wine classes are either for professionals, class of wine or two, you'll learn the basics of a specific wine region, cultural background information, relevant vocabulary and pronunciation, tasting notes and practice. I think, okay, so at you for about 5 minutes. Let's focus a bit on what you can actually do to make this work. So let's go to the learn page. Learn language, learn wine. To know your beverage a whole lot better than our saucy wine classes. Shiraz and Syrah. Okay, great. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? If we're going to say, why the heck does Vicky Smalls have to do? What? Huh? Learn all about Alsace, Beaujolais, Bordeaux, Burgundy, Champagne. Okay, so I want to know how I can walk into a shop and buy a bottle of wine that I'm going to like. Some kinds of wines that I like and some that I don't like, but I don't know from the label, apart from oak. I know that I like oaky. And that's it. And I feel like such a plank when I go to buy wine, because I just don't know how to pick. And I want to drink really good wine. Like, I do know the difference between nice wine and not nice wine. But when it comes to like picking a bottle off the shelf, sod knows. So I don't want to learn all about Alsace, Beaujolais, Bordeaux, blah, 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 blah. I want to know how to pick wine I like. I want to know how to pick wine that's going to go with certain food. I want to be able to pick a good present or take a really quality bottle of wine to a dinner party without it costing an arm and a leg. I want to have that basic kind of literacy about wine, that I can use it. And I think you need to talk about that more than just having a list of these different types of wine, because it kind of goes without saying that you're going to cover that. And the more you can use this really, really effervescent way of writing prose to capture what people are actually struggling with around this topic, and the more powerful your prose is going to be. The only way you can do that is by actually sitting down and having conversations with people. Get on Zoom, record the conversations, use the words that they use, just just talk to your friends. It sounds like you're quite sociable people, so just ask people, your friends, and see what they say. And if you can then design a wine course, and the other thing is you've got learn wine on a very basic level. You've got learn wine, and then you don't offer any courses. And a free tasty teaser, well, what's that going to do for me then? Like, can you not just tell me how to pick a red wine, for example? So I'd like to know what that is and what that's actually going to do for me and why it's going to be useful. And I'm guessing it's something that combines a little bit of language learning with a little bit of wine. But the trouble with that is that you also need to pitch it to people's different levels of language knowledge. So there's that too. Okay, let's go to the learn language section. That's a daisy. Tired of memorising vocabulary words you'll never use? Well, I mean, that's kind of switched me off. You've actually just reminded me of the worst bit of language learning, which actually that's turned me off. And I'm a linguist, so, I'm quite interested in learning language. And somehow, I mean, that's just personal taste maybe, but I does not feel like a good way to start. Skip to the good food. So I really didn't like that. That's so listing your tools. It's like, hey, book me as your plumber. I've got this kind of wrench. Don't care. I don't care. I want to know that you don't have a BO problem and you're going to turn up on time. So you don't need that list. What you need to do, so with the language courses particularly, I particularly felt like you've got quite a job to do with how you're communicating this. I really want to know what you're offering that's different, not just in terms of the concept, like you're talking about wine and you're talking about food, but I actually want to know what's different about learning language with you compared to learning language with anyone else. So you want to look at what people struggle with when they're learning language. I'll stop sharing for a second because I'm going to waffle. And you want to look at what people struggle with when they're learning language. Confidence, time, focus, being able to concentrate, organising themselves, staying interested. And obviously you're talking about relevance, but relevance is really only one piece of the puzzle. And again, you want to sit down with your sort of customer base here. And your customer base is clearly, they're intellectual, they're cultured, they like to travel. There's definitely something about accessing the finer things in life. And that's very much part of your brand. It doesn't have to be elitist. It's just kind of that luxury, that touch of luxury. And I think you need to infuse the language learning with that as well. Giving yourself that bit of luxury, enriching your life. But you do need to tackle those objections that people have to learning languages. You need to show how you're going to make this an easier process than, say, picking up the so you know what the language courses are that you get from the library. There's a couple of really famous, like classic language schools that you can get, and you need to really show why they should go with you rather than them. And you need to talk really practically about the process and the experience. Again, thinking about how they're going to feel at each stage of the process, because learning a language can be tedious, it can be taxing, it can be anxiety ridden for some people. But they really want to get to that point of, and that's the other thing that you could do with pinning down more. What is the point you're going to get people to? What is the point you're going to get people to? That they can buy wine in France, they can have a conversation with the waiter, that they can interrogate the chef, that they can, like, what is the language point that you're going to get people to? So let's jump to the courses. And again, you've got no links to courses on your Learn Language page. So let me just share the screen up again so you can see what I'm looking at. Come on. You can't see what I'm doing. Click, 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 click. Right, here we go. Yeah, so you've got your learn language thing and there's no links to the courses. And also, the other thing is you're making this promise at the beginning of this integrated experience, and then you're tackling the language and the wine separately. I don't know. I mean, that's okay. It's not really a problem. It's just a thought, really. Oh, I do like that cheese. I'm finding these pictures quite distracting, actually. Okay. So learn language. Let's just go here and let's pull this apart a little bit. Oh no, we're here again. Oh, I want to go to the courses. How do I find the courses? See, exactly. I actually can't find them now. Oh, it's from the homepage, isn't it? But that, yeah, there you go. Proof of the pudding. I can't eat it. So I can't find it. Learn language. Here we go. Oh, I can't click on the image. Oh. Learn language. Sassy language classes. I mean, that's great. There's a real promise, like you're promising it, you're promising it, you're promising it. And then it's like negations, future tense, comparative. Comparative? I don't even know what comparative is. Have I got French A-level? Oh, I suppose I can work it out. Comparing, yeah, okay. But still, oh, that's not very sassy. Really, it's not. And also, what is the link here? Alsace negations, Beaujolais future tense. Can you explain? Yeah. Okay. Have you appended why vowels don't sound like vowels in other languages? No, I just want to be able to order food, actually. Are you baffled by the difference between composed past and imperfect past? Oh my God. No, I'm not. But I really want to learn some more French, actually. Yeah, so I'm being a bit mean. I mean, I love the idea of skipping to the good stuff, but you're not skipping to the good stuff. You're chucking all this grammar at me. I love the idea of doing it with a glass of wine in your hand. Okay, come on, let's get to these courses. Oh, right. So I'm back here because that's the link from Learn Language. Oh, I thought I was just being lazy on the job. Right, so where are your courses? Now I actually can't find them. I've been there. How do I get back there? Ah, learn how. That was the link, wasn't it? Right, okay, so here we are at the classes. Okay. Now I haven't done view all courses yet. Let me see. Oh my God. Oh my God, there's even more. Oh no. Oh no, that's so overwhelming. Oh man. Right, okay. So let's just pick this view bundle. No. Okay, right, this is all features and no benefits. Okay. You need to organise these and retitle them and relabel them according to how people are going to use these courses. You need to show people how to use your courses. You need to make it really simple. You need to totally remove the element of choice, and you need to offer pathways for people through your courses. So obviously you've got to have a main link from your main menu here to your courses page. Here, buy our courses, and that's what the learn section needs to do, really. You don't need these separate pages. You need a learn page, learn, and you need a picture of a glass of wine, learn wine, and you need a picture of a gorgeous moleskin notebook and a fountain pen, French, learn language. Okay, and underneath a little introduction about why you're so sassy and what your approach to learning is, and probably a photograph of you again, or a photograph of you guys teaching. And then from these images, you're going to go to a learn why thing, which outlines the point that you're going to get people to, or what this leaping off point is. I've only ever bought wine in Asda or Walmart. That's your version of Asda, isn't it? Or that they know what they like. I mean, it might be what I said, you know, they know what they like, but they don't know how to buy the stuff that they like. And then tell them what point you're going to get them to with your courses in practical terms, not a list of types of wine. And then you've got your starter course, your intermediate course, your like super clever course. Let's look at what your courses actually are. And for each one, it's starting point, end point, starting point, end point, some feeling, like how they're going to feel at the end, what they're going to be able to do with it at the end. And keep your summaries can be quite simple. It's the ultimate wine and cheese pairings party. I want you to sell that more. It's a great idea, but you need to sell that more. Like, why? Why would they want to do that? Who is actually going to use that in practice? You've got to test these things. You've got to test these things out. Wine 101 flashcards. How do I use that? Who is it for? What? I mean, it's free, so that's your freebie. Oh my God, I just noticed that's your freebie. Wine 101 flashcards. What is that? How do I use that? What's that for? And so again, you need a little blurb. How do you use that? Solve problems, solve problems, solve problems. And they don't need to be the kind of, oh my God, I've got no self-confidence problems. It's just like, oh, you know, we're having risotto tonight. Do I pick a red or a white, or we've got venison? I don't know. You need to talk to people and find out, you know, what their access points are to this stuff. French through French wines connoisseur to be. This makes the front of my head ache a little bit. And also, like this bonjour thing, you're talking about connoisseur. There's a sort of element of sophistication about what you're offering. And it's bonjour. I mean, bloody everyone knows how to say bonjour. I don't know. I think you could repackage that so much better. AmuseBouche presents perfect example, very presently Burgundy. Explore the present tense in French using Burgundy wines as the. No, not the present tense. No. Begin to have a conversation. Learn how to chat up that dishy bloke in really simple terms. And you can, and it's great. That's a really great vehicle. I love that combination. But like, learning the present tense is not a selling point. Yeah, I was going to say, who wakes up in the morning thinking I'm going to learn the present tense? I think I have had that kind of conversation with myself in the past, actually. But I'm a bit of a language geek. That's not how to sell the course, anyway. Make sure to grab a bottle of Burgundy so you can taste where you know. I mean, that's great. I really like that. But you need to be testing these out. You really need to be testing these out. And you need to be asking questions about starting point and end point for people. Like, where were they when they began? What made them want to do the course? What did they really get out of it? And I can send you some feedback questions that will help guide you through that process. And that's going to help you repackage these. You can't do this work in a vacuum. You've just got test, operate, test, exit, the TOTE model of learning. You've got to try things out and see what works. And see how people use it, because you've got a really inspiring idea. You need to find out how people are going to engage with your idea in practice, and your business is going to evolve with that. And the question, stop sharing for a second. The question that you asked in your Facebook post when you responded to my post in that thread was about how to kind of communicate the call to action. And part of your job is actually just to test out different call to actions and refine that as you go along, using feedback from your clients. And that's really the next year for you, is doing that. Very presently begging. I mean, it's so sweet. You've got such a way with words. It's lovely, but you need to get it out of your head and into the heads of your customers, really. Okay. Oh my God! And there's Biog. Okay, let's share the screen again. I have a lot of sympathy for how your brain works, I have to say. I really do. Hang on. Let me share the screen so I can show you what I'm looking at. With my crazy hair. Yeah, suddenly, oh God, I've lost it now. Where is the page with the bio at the bottom? Suddenly you've got, no, it's not there either. Oh my God. I've got too many tabs open. Yeah, suddenly you've got Jamie Biog at the bottom. Oh, it's that, those words again. You're repeating the words. Yeah, I don't know. No, I wouldn't have that there. Difficulty 4 out of 10. Yeah, so you could grade in that. Here are all our courses. Here are the difficult courses. Here are the easy courses. Here are the intermediate courses. Here are the difficult courses. And then on a separate page, kind of break down each of those. Disclaimer. Yeah, so we won't make promises we can't keep. So actually, rather than saying that, I would just focus on making promises you can keep. And that's the thing. That's the thing I say over and over again. You don't need more training. You don't need more experience to put your work out there. You just need to make promises you can keep. So figure out what is the promise with each course and make that really clearly, and then then deliver on it. Okay. Go back home. Is there anything that I've missed? Oh, but that doesn't even take me home because that's not the home page. So you need to be testing all your links as well. So clicking on home doesn't take me home. So let's go back here. Also, yeah, you've got 7 o'clock in the evening. It's not my best time of day. The font you've got here is different from the font here. So we go into course land, and suddenly you're in a different font and the feeling shifts. So it becomes much more technical, much drier. I'm in textbook world here, whereas here I was in menu world, and that was nice. I want to stay in menu world. I don't really like going into textbook world very much. So that's something that's a technical thing to look at fixing. You haven't got a mailing list. Now this kind of thing, the business that you've got is going to sell extremely well on mailing list. You're looking at a longer sales funnel, I think. I mean, there's the shit, we're going on holiday thing, but mostly this is about pastimes. This is about hobbies, things people do in their spare time. It's a slow burner, and you've got lots of courses. Once a customer's bought from you, they're going to buy again. So you're looking at repeat purchases, you're looking at relationship. And if you can work on your blog, building relationship through your blog, and then I'm just going to click on the blog, and maintaining that relationship with mailing list, that's kind of your sales funnel really. And you've got no mailing list sign up or call to action. Well, you have, but it's not like I wouldn't even know where to find it right now to go back and find it, and that needs to be really consistently there at the top of your site. So that might be an issue with getting some technical help to get a plugin sorted, for example. And yeah, you want to offer something really straightforward. I mean, it is tricky because you're trying to solve two problems. One is with the wine and one is with the language. And as I said earlier, you've got people will be coming into the language at different levels. So you're going to have to think out of the box a little bit with that one. But at the same time, and I wonder if actually you need to be working on your method a bit, like how you're actually going to teach this. And maybe you're figuring that out a little bit too. And that's fine. Again, that's a question of test, operate, test, exit, get feedback at every single stage. And you might want to experiment with doing this live a little bit more. Doing some live courses where you weave together the language and the wine teaching, and just see how people respond to that. I mean, you're obviously wanting to run an online, you've got an online business model with courses that people download, which is great, so that you don't have to be putting the time and energy into managing live classes. But those live classes are going to give you information about what works and what doesn't, what your clients like, what gets the most giggles, all of that stuff, what gets the clearest breakthroughs. I know that you're experienced language teachers, but I just think you might want to workshop your idea a little bit more, and that'll give you answers to a lot of these questions. Also, I mean, the other thing is that the whole thing with wine and food and language, it's all about networking, it's all about making friends. So depending on what your other commitments are and so on, that actually could be a really interesting arm to your business, that you have a Facebook group and you do live classes and people get to know each other, and, you know, it could be really sweet. So I think your next step overall, I haven't even looked at your about page. I think your next step overall is going to be about connection, really engaging people, getting some conversations started. Okay, let's have a quick look at your about page. Yeah, again, I mean, I love your pictures. For some reason, I thought you were the same person because you're wearing the same colour top. But then I see you've got some of the same. You've done this really funny thing with this text, which is really cute. So I wonder if you were like following through on that. I like that symmetry. I mean, your stories are great. It's a bit long. I mean, obviously, you're trying to get your personality across. I think maybe you could trim that a little bit, perhaps. But maybe not, because I know everything. But the about page, it's not just about you, guys. It's about the concept. And this is your space to tell more about this idea. Tell more about language learning for the culinarily curious. If you could find another word, I'd be really happy with that one, actually. Tell more about the promise, like unfold the promise, unfold the idea, inspire people, get them aching to learn that language. Also, the other thing is you talk about language, but you don't say which languages. That's a really big one, actually. That's really obvious right at the beginning. We teach French, German, Spanish, or just French, or Japanese, or what? Oh, and then you've got this translation thing. Back on the, I'm not even going to try and find it. Back on the page that's got all of the list of courses, you've got this funny, like, translate, select language. And I thought that was select the language you want to learn. So, again, that was a little brain confusion thing. And the more little confusions there are, the more frustrated people are going to get. And you don't want people, you want people to feel really relaxed and juicy and like a Renaissance woman. That's the feeling that you're going for. So this is for telling your story and unfolding your story. Tell us about what inspired you. Then tell us why we might need it. So call me out. Speak to the Renaissance all-rounder. There was another word I was thinking of earlier in relation to this, but anyway, speak to the part of me that drink fine wine every day and be talking to beautiful men sitting out on the terrace in France or in Tuscany, taking salad from the bowl and passing it on, and eating the courses in the right order, because that's what French people do, and you have the broth and then the cheese comes at a certain point, and how do you break the bread, and tell that whole story and talk about how you're gonna get people there. So that's what I'm doing here. And talk about the sticking points, talk about the frustration, the boring, the tedium of learning languages, or the standing in Walmart really wanting to get a decent bottle of wine but not knowing how the hell to do that. and feeling really stupid and frustrated, and probably more frustrated than stupid, and talk about time and talk about wanting to do something for yourself in your spare time. And so, but that is all going to really come from having conversations with your potential clients about this idea and workshopping the idea. Wine shops. Yeah, what was, yeah, I mean, yeah, great. I mean, for me, that's kind of a blog post. And you might have a few different things that you want to put in blog posts and have like a favourite blog posts thing. But I mean, yeah. I don't know. Again, like, tell me how that fits in. Like, so I'm going to stop sharing now. Tell me how it all fits together. Like, piece the pieces of the puzzle together. And you're probably like in the process of piecing the pieces of the puzzle together in your heads as you go. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of handy. But then you're inviting people to go to someone else's website. So, oh yeah, they're not hyperlinked at least. Well, it looks like it's hyperlinked. Yeah, it is. Great. So off I go down the wine shop rabbit hole, and I've forgotten all about you guys in your fancy hat and your red dress. And now I'm just buying wine. So yeah, okay. I think that is probably enough. Take a quick look at the plug. Big thing for your site. Yeah, boring, but can you talk about pairings? Talk about cheese. Talk about how to eat food in France. It's not even good. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing because I'm not showing the screen anymore. I'm just really scowling. So yeah, I would just really think about your story. Think about how it's useful. Think about how it's relevant. Ask those questions to your people, and start with your friends if you don't know where else to start, and go from there. I will send you my my little guide to getting and using testimonials and getting feedback. If you've got any more questions or want more support with this, then get in touch and we can have a chat. I'm happy to answer quick questions over messaging or over email. Otherwise, good luck. Please keep going. It's a fantastic concept, and you've got you've got the potential to build a really lovely community around this, and wine tours and trips to France and all kinds of stuff. You can have a lot of fun with this, so please keep going, but start asking and start getting some feedback, and that should set you on the right way. Okay, lots of love. I've really enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.